their microphones. We do not have one of those fancy, we can mute everyone kind of buttons. So if you can help us out, I would appreciate it. So super grateful. We do this every quarter. We have some amazing people on here to share what's going right in their lives, what's going wrong, to help us all grow, gather more ideas, and also to create some community. So we're going to have a Q&A at the end. Put your questions in the chat. We encourage everybody at the end to open your microphones and just have a collaborative conversation about what we've heard. So my name is Robin Phillips. I am out of Charleston, South Carolina. Been with EXP now for 5 years. I'm just very grateful to be part of Impact Worldwide. I know Deb's here. Deb is the one that puts all this together. So thank you so much, Deb. So our 4 panelists today got some questions from me, but I wanted to just throw it out there that we're all in a shifting market. So I'm going to throw in there another question today, and I'm giving everybody kind of advance warning is, what are you doing differently, if anything? And what are you seeing that's working right now? Because we've heard a lot about getting back to basics. We've heard, don't get back to basics, focus on AI, do all these different things. And what we want to know is what's working, not the next best idea, so that we can all grow and do more business together. So I am going to start with Jeff, if that is okay. Jeff, and what I want to first open up with is, Jeff, who are you? Where are you? What is your production? Are you a single agent, a team? How many years have you been in the business? Just give me, the CNN version of who's Jeff.
All right, Jeff Robinson. I live in Statesville. I'm on a team. I'm on LePage Johnson. We're out of the Lake Norman area. I've been an agent for 3 years. The first year of that was in Michigan. And then my wife Robin and I moved down to North Carolina to be closer to the grandkids about a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, which is when I joined EXP and joined LePage Johnson. Kind of my path to being an agent was when I was still working my former career. We started buying waterfront vacation rentals. And so my wife and I did that for about 7 years. And then once I finally retired in 2020, I said, you know what, I like this real estate aspect. I'm going to go get my license, and whether that was to continue our investments or, just to branch out on my own, and do real estate independent of our business. That was kind of, that was my goal, to get my license and kind of figure that out.
I know you have a military background as well, correct?
I do, yes. So I'm from Michigan, graduated high school, went right into the Air Force after that, and did a couple tours overseas. I was an explosives detector dog. So I did a couple of tours during Desert Storm, ended up coming back to the States and got stationed in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And once I got out of the military, I actually worked for the Kannapolis Police Department for 4 years before I went back home to Michigan, and worked for retired from the Ann Arbor Police Department, where I was K9 as well. So K9 is dog training has kind of been my passion my entire adult life, if you will. So I like that military, helping the military relocation aspect of it as well.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Pretty extraordinary. So tell me a little bit about relocation and focusing on the military. Do you niche down that much? Is this something that's 100% of your focus, or are you doing other things as well?
So last year I went up to Asheville and took the military relocation, the MRP, got the MRP certification, and working in an area where we don't really have a big military presence here. So it's been kind of few and far between of, veterans or military personnel that are separating from service wanting to move to this area. So what I've been working with veterans that are trying to get their, VA, CO, their eligibility. So it's been few and far between actually working with recently separated military people. So I'm still kind of branching out into that, hoping to build that up a little bit more. But I've had more luck actually with equestrian, because we have horses. My wife's a horse trainer as well. And so having that horse community has kind of helped me pick up a few clients here and there just from the barn. It's been kind of nice.
Well, we were on a call with Elena Cardone a couple of days ago, and she talked about networking, right? And really that right now for them is really working. And what you're speaking to is the exact same thing. It's about making those connections in the community that you're already living in. So what do you believe your superpower is?
Oh, connecting with people, I think, is like, in the kind of the law enforcement world, when you roll up on something, you have to be able to connect to somebody pretty quickly. And I think I'm pretty good at that. That is my superpower, is meeting somebody, breaking the ice, putting them at ease pretty quickly, and finding some common ground, some connection that seems to be what I'm good at.
I love that. Well, I can see that about you. Absolutely. So tell me, what are you doing? Are you doing anything different in your business right now than you were doing last year? And what's working?
So being only 3 years in the business, I'm still learning. I don't have that real estate pedigree, so I am still learning. So in this market right now, that's exactly what I'm continuing to learn, to do, is to learn. I'm constantly listening to, podcasts. And the other thing that I'm trying to do right now is start a YouTube channel called Crazy Stupid Life. And I want it to be where I'm interviewing first responders or retired first responders. I mean, we all love hearing cop stories, and like, I know my Robin listens to these true crime things, and so everyone loves to hear weird police or fire or EMS stories about things that have happened to them on the job. And so I'm trying to get better. I want to get better at doing this kind of thing, interviewing people and talking, and so I thought, what better way to do that than to interview like-minded people like myself, and tell me a story about something that happened when you were working. Tell me something, either good or bad, like funny or serious. And then, because it's a real estate channel, tell me about your real estate experience. So I don't know who would watch that, but it might help me. It might help me get better at starting this video process that everyone says to do, right?
Well, and I truly believe that telling a story is part of what anyone on social media does well, right? People want to hear about stories. So we have heard consistently on Instagram and other things that the best posts, it's not just sold, right? It's what is the story of that sale? What is the story behind the person, the moment, the solution that you provided as a real estate agent? So I think you're really smart to have some super fun stories mixed in with real estate. And then it's just what is the path that takes naturally on its own? Because sometimes we have a great idea and we don't even know where it's going to go. And it goes a place we didn't even expect it to. So I think that's really exciting. And I think you're smart. What podcasts are you listening to?
My favorite, it's a bit raunchy, but my favorite right now is Real Estate Uncensored. The main guy on it is Greg McDaniel. He EXP out of California. And it's uncensored because they don't hold back. But it's a marketing it's a marketing get together about things that you can do for your business and actionable ideas to grow your business. And so I've been listening to that for about 3 years now. And then probably about a month ago, I reached out to Greg and talked to him. And so we've become friends over that as well. So it's fun to talk to him and then listen to him, just he goes off. He loves dogs. I'm a dog trainer. So we kind of hit it off.
So what is your one favorite idea from him, from that podcast?
Well, he's constantly going to the dog park. And so his first idea was, you got to go to the dog park. You got to, give somebody a free dog training lesson if they, sign up with you, or if they buy a house from you or whatever. He's like, give them a free dog lesson. So, still in the works, but there's no dog parks around where I'm at. So I'm gonna have to go down to Lake Norman somewhere to the dog park.
That's all right. I love that idea. So give me 2 more nuggets that you feel that everybody needs to hear today that's either helped you or an idea you had that will help you.
Well, one was, I know you were going to ask me about books, and 7 levels of communication has helped me, because it helped me. I love how they tell a story. It's almost like it's a fictional story, but it's telling you what to do. I mean, it's telling you how to grow this community, and how, that it's all about relationships, and that's me. Like I love building relationships. My last closing, they were moving from West Virginia down to Lake Norman, and they showed up with a U-Haul, and I was there like, let's unload this thing. Like, we were already closed, and I'm like, I'm going to be there to help them move. And so that was, that's what I like to do. And the other thing that I've done is I've also created a Facebook page called Realtor 911, and it's almost like a referral page for current or former first responders all over the country, that if you have a referral in San Francisco, and there's somebody in our Facebook page that is out there, you can send it to them. So just trying to grow that, and with first responders and military, and hopefully that'll turn into something that'll help people across the country, first responders or military.
I think that's amazing. And creating that community of real estate agents is a great idea as well, right? Because that
Absolutely.
way you're exchanging ideas with like-minded people in the similar profession. And for EXP agents, that's a wonderful way to create an agent community of people you can reach out to in the future. So
absolutely, that's the plan.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much, Jeff. I really appreciate you being here today.
Thank you.
All right. I think Robin, since we have Robin on this today, we're just going to jump to Robin, who's spelled the exact same way as me, which is really weird.
It's the only way to spell it. It's the correct way.
It is the correct way. It's the boy way, by the way, just so you know.
I know, but it's okay. I don't mind.
It's okay. That's all right. We have a lot of male energy. It's a great thing.
That's right.
Okay, so we're going to start out. Who are you? Where are you? How long have you been in the business? Single agent, team? What is your production? Tell us about Robin.
Okay. I'm Robin Mann out of Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm really in Waxhaw. We're the land of the Waxhaws. They're Indians. Been in the business 8.5 years, and I do about 25 million as a solo agent. I've had little bits where I've had teams and I've terminated the teams. So currently that's what I do. I also do agent attraction. I have 60 agents in we're called the uprisers, because we're rising up. So that's what I know about that. And did I answer all those questions? Yeah,
that's perfect. That's perfect. I also want to point out that you have created a little bit of a coaching platform thing that you're doing.
I do.
And I think you have some incredible energy about you. You're an extremely
you.
positive person. You've just got, yeah, you've got some really cool energy. So tell us a little bit about what's working in your business. Why are you still closing 25 million?
I love you. Thank you. So yes, I do have I have a daily call that's 9:15 to 9:45. It's every day, any brokerage. It's called Real Estate MF, which is supposed to be Monday through Friday, but people, you take it how you want, right? So Real Estate MF is what it is. It's a Zoom call. It's also live on TikTok and live on Instagram every day. And then it's on my YouTube channel. I send it off, they edit it, make it pretty. And it's my real estate channel is called Real Estate MF. So you can go on there and watch them. And all of it is talking about real estate and marketing ideas, mindset, accountability. I've been doing it for a year now. And people have come over to the brokerage because of it. And then people have also just improved their skills because of it. So we talk on the daily on how to do lead gen. So I like to do lead gen. I call it not your mom's lead gen or not your dad's lead gen, because back in the day, maybe they sent out a bunch of flyers. Maybe they got that big book out and they flipped through things and made cold calls. I've never cold calls. I've never done flyers. I started out doing open houses and door knocking and Facebook. And so after my first year, I did 9 deals my first 9 months while working another full-time job. That year I did those 3 things. I looked at back and I said, okay, well, those 3 things, the one that's working the most are open or door knocking and Facebook. So that next year I did 26 deals based off of that, and looked again back at the sources. Majority of it was coming from social media. So although I love door knocking and I've made a great number of sales because of door knocking, I realized the leverage ability of social media, and it could be any form of social media, whatever medium you like. That's where I started building my business. And it's from doing the things that actually your mom and dad would have done if they were realtors back in the day, which was getting out and connecting with people, just like Jeff was saying. So looking at lead gen and prospecting as a lifestyle, not a commission breath type activity. It's just go make friends, go connect with people, go love on humans, and then business will come. So I do have a coaching course that teaches the skills. It started out as a 22-day challenge, and with the idea that business or habits are formed in 21 days. So if you'll do something for 21 days, then you're going to create a habit. And so we create habits during those 21 days of doing these activities on social media that are very basic. No one needs to pay for these things that the people pay for on social media. And then on day 22, it's a habit and you take it into your life. I found out that the people, they did great with the 22-day challenge. And then on day 23, they were, so now we have an accountability class that continues so that people do it. It's really, truly about being consistent, doing activities, being present in communities, doing what you like is actually the biggest piece of it all. And that's why I do well. I get my biggest leads, or my biggest lead sources are from mom groups on Facebook. They are from volunteering in the community. They are from connecting with people in the community that I like, people that have common interests. And so if you hate cold, that's what I say is if you hate cold calling, don't do it. If you hate door knocking, don't do it. Now try it. And then if it doesn't work for you, okay, then don't do it. At least try it. Find out the one that works and then lean in all the way. So that's how I've been able to do it, is I love on my people, and I lead with contribution and love and kindness and all that good stuff. I try to. Mean Robin comes out every now and then.
Yes, well,
Yeah,
we're all human.
we're all human. So
yes. So talk to me about, what was one of your biggest mistakes you made in real estate and what did you learn from it?
biggest mistakes in real estate and what I learned from it, I would say, is not utilizing a database. So I did it really well for year 1, I had no clue. Year 2, I did really great. And I went from 26 deals to 52 on year 3, boom, because I was crushing my database. The next one, so I've sold a home every week since 2016. And I did really phenomenal with that. For the first like years 3, 4, and 5, I was crushing my database, working it like a beast. And what I mean by that, people are like, what do you mean working your database? So a database is very simple, and real estate is very simple. Speak to a person, put it in a database, meaning their information, their name, their email, if you don't have it, then how do you get in touch with them? Some means of getting in touch with them, write the notes from the conversation, and then set a task to follow up. Here's the key. And this is where I fell off in year 4, but luckily year 4, I had enough repeat business that it kept me rolling. If I look back, I could have gone from year 4, I did 56. I probably could have done 85 if I had not fallen off. And what I did was I stopped utilizing my database. I stopped going in on the daily and looking at the task that I had already assigned myself. And these are simple tasks. So to me, real estate is very easy. Like I just said, you have a conversation, you put it in your database with their name and their info, you set a task to follow up, and then you go back to your database every day and you do the tasks that your database tells you to do. You don't even have to think. What I did in year 4 is I kind of fell off. I was like, oh, I got busy. I was doing 56 deals a day as a solo agent, or a month, or a year. And I stopped going to my database. And then what really stuck is I looked back and I saw that when I went back 3 months later and I missed following up with these people that I had set tasks for, they had already bought, they had already sold. And so I screwed up. I could have, done way bigger numbers. So there was a lesson. Don't lose your database, stay on it and utilize it.
And the lesson, even from what you originally said, was create a habit.
Create a habit.
And don't stop doing that habit.
You're exactly right.
And if you stop doing that habit, find an accountability group or create one.
Yes.
It's going to keep you on track for that habit.
Exactly.
So people say all the time, real estate is simple. It's not easy.
Exactly.
So I just want to highlight, I wrote something down. Lead generation is a lifestyle. I think that's something that not many people think about. They think time block, they think discipline, create a bunker, do it, like not, it's a lifestyle of when I go to Starbucks, I'm going to talk to people and get their information and,
Exactly. I look at lead gen as a lifestyle in the fact that every person you encounter gives you clues, and all you have to do is look at them and utilize them. You read, like you're in the grocery store line and they have a pasta that you've been wanting to try. And then you just say, oh my gosh, I've been wanting to try that pasta. Is it good? That's a lead gen opportunity. Like that is lead gen. You do, I think, still have to do that block in time where when I leave the grocery store and I've had this conversation with this person, I need to go home and write it down. Hopefully I got some form of way to get back in touch with them. But if I didn't, it's still, like you said, the habit, write it down. I met Emily at the grocery store. Hopefully I'll see her again. I screwed up because I didn't get her contact information. But a simple follow-up in that same exact situation is, hey, here's my number. Will you text me after you eat it if they haven't tried it and let me know if it's good? I mean, like that's a very authentic, real follow-up. They may say, no, you're psycho, but you could totally try it. I mean, why not? Right?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. I think so much there. Okay, give us 2 nuggets, something that you want to share that's either working now and then something potentially you think will work for you.
Something that's working now is so back to what you just said, when I became a realtor, someone told me, I went to some marketing class and they were like, you are now a public figure. Everything I do with social media is on my personal page. It's not on my business page. Business pages for me are only if you want to do Facebook ads. Everything is on your personal page. You are a person. One of the questions you ask is, what's your favorite saying? And mine is, humankind be both. So go out in the world and be human and be kind. And like, if you do that, then it returns to you. And so what's working for me is going out into groups and not vomiting real estate on folks, like Facebook groups, not vomiting real estate. It's not no one cares about your open house or your new listing or the thing you just sold. They really don't. What they care about is, oh my gosh, Brian and I just sold this house and he was the best realtor and here's why I loved him and blah, 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 blah. That's what they care about. So like telling the stories, being a real person, celebrating the loss or the win or the whatever it is that happened in that moment. That's the things that work, and being real. I have creepy babies. I don't know if y'all seen my creepy babies, but I have these creepy baby dolls that I use for marketing. Like, it's because they're real. It's because they're not vomit. Like, stop vomiting. Everybody just stop vomiting real estate, please. So that works for me. Do what works for me. The creepy babies work for me. Like, you can see one right there. She's back in the corner. But I found something that I love and that makes me laugh, and I leaned into that. So Jeff loves horses, lean into that. Jeff loves dogs, lean into that. Like, everything he does should be like, when he does closing gifts, in my opinion, he needs to give a dog bowl and a dog collar and a horse hoof cleaner or a horse brush or whatever. Like, he needs to lean into that. Find your people and lean into that. That's what works for me.
I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you so much.
Yeah.
And
all
right.
Yeah. Love. If anybody wants to join my calls, please. I love having folks on there. I have a lot of EXP folks and I have a lot of non-EXP folks. So
and Robin, will you just drop wherever that's going to be in the chat? And then
I will do it. Yes.
Yeah, people can just pick that up. I love it. Thank you. All right, Amani. Where are you? Hey, I see your face.
Robin. Hey, everybody.
So tell us a little bit about where are you? Who are you? How long have you been in the business?
I guess I'm the only one from Austin, Texas here today. Hey, everyone. So it's been about 20 years. Yeah, this is my 21st year. And after being with KW that long, I moved to EXP last year. I should have done it 10 years ago, but that's another story. I came from high tech before that. So I call myself a nerd, and I serve and love my high techies because they're logical, they're straightforward, they're hard to work with, and no other agent wants to deal with them. So I always say, whether multi-ethnic or technic, refer them to Amani quick. So remember that. If you have anyone that says, I don't want to deal with that seller, I would love to deal with them. They're goal-oriented, and that's how I function. I can't deal with the touchy-feely stuff. They drive me nuts. Why do you like this house? Oh, I don't know. I just like this house. That doesn't work with me. So that's me. I've been always a single agent, doing between 20 to 30 transactions on a good day per year. My average has always been on the higher end, I guess. Just fell into it. At KW, we had the Keller Williams luxury division, and I was one of the first 30 that joined. So that marketing helped. Average price point right now is about 1.3, 1.2. So I don't do many transactions, but as a single agent, I'm happy with that because I tried managing people and that just didn't work with me. I had managed 30 guys in my previous career in high tech, and that just burned me out. So I decided real estate, I'm not going to manage anyone but myself. And thanks to EXP, you can do a self-organized team. So I'm starting to do that. Love it because we can support each other, we can cover for each other, you know, and it's great. We meet once a week, whether in person or on Zoom. And that I like. I'm not responsible for them, but I can help them and, you know, give leads and so on. So this has been working well. What else, Robin?
So tell me a little bit about luxury. How are you lead generating for luxury, or is this just your sphere?
It started out, like I said, just joining that group, and it happened to be the right price point back then, although it's gone up since then. And I remember the agent that was the top luxury agent in Austin, Texas, saying, why aren't you with us? You sold 2 in the last year that were in this price point. I'm like, but that's not me. She says, just join. And that's exactly what I did. So then you're like use it for marketing, right? So I send a postcard. I started with Buffini very, very early on. I didn't know any better. So I sent a postcard once a month to my sphere. And to Robin's point, your database is everything. So once a month for the last 21 years, I have sent a postcard to my sphere. And it always says, luxury or luxury certified agent. And that really, really helped bring the price point even higher, because they think that's all I sell, right? I have to remind them that's not all I sell, because you lose people sometimes. So that's, yeah. And now with EXP, it's incredible, you guys. Whoever's on this call that is not using that platform should be, because what I've been doing lately, Robin, is sending a link to the seller. And I'm mainly a listing agent, by the way, like 90% of my business is listings. So I send a link to the seller with their photo, their house, their home photo, and it shows them where EXP is going to post their listing. And it's got, Rob Report, Wall Street Journal, every luxury site on earth. And they see that and they're impressed by that. So it takes us about 10 seconds to load up a photo, which we grab from the internet, and the address, and then text that link to your seller. You can email it, you can print it. What I've done lately also is printed it and left it on somebody's front door before I arrived. So
it's like a pre-listing?
It was the only thing I left, actually, was just
Okay.
the link that shows where their home is being marketed. It's about 16, 17 page, printout. And they were so impressed with it. And it took about 15 minutes. We had the listing signed. So that's how luxury has been working lately here with EXP. It's real simple. They love what they see. You come in with a preconceived notion that that's all you do. And if they like it, they're going to sign, immediately.
Are you doing anything with expireds, or are you using any of these tools with people that have not already booked a listing appointment with you?
So that's a very good point, because I had not worked with expireds at all in my 21 years. But right now I feel like it would be so easy. And in fact, I was talking to Bambi about that the other day. It would be so easy for us to say what expired in my neighborhood, find that listing and print this out, give it to them at their door, put your card in there and say, this is what we do at EXP to sell our listings. If you're still interested in selling, give us a call. And I guarantee you their previous agent did not do that, did not post it all over the board. And in languages, if you see the link, Robin, it's translated in all languages across the international MLS. So it's really huge. And with me, I said earlier, whether multi-ethnic or technic, my sphere is international. So when I go and, they see that their listing is translated in their language, it's like a no-brainer. It's just, they love it. So that's how that's could be very useful. I promise I will start doing a few expireds. I haven't yet. So
I look at Bambi cheering you. I love it. I love it.
Well, we talked about that. We're going to make it happen. I'll do one next week.
Yeah, well, I think we all have to get a little bit uncomfortable to continue moving forward. And, I think if you have the tool,
yes,
then the fear is lowered, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And this tool, you guys need to look into it, whoever's in that market. Even if you sold 1 or 2 last year in your market that is in that luxury point, which is above $1 million in most cities, you should look at it, because it's a no-brainer, this tool that EXP gave us.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. And you can find them on Workplace, guys. That's the easiest way to find them. So tell me, what is the biggest mistake you made in real estate? What have you learned?
So, you know how we all get this feeling or this sixth sense sometimes that we shouldn't serve a certain buyer or a certain seller because they're going to not be scrupulous, or they're going to waste our time, or whatever it is. Listen to it. The times when I look back on the most wasted time and effort and money was when I didn't listen to my gut feeling after I've met this person for the first 5 minutes, you will know immediately what kind of person the person is, right? And I'm above board. If they ask a question that's just weird or makes me, uncomfortable by the, note of what they're trying to find out, now I move away. I didn't used to do that before. And that was a big mistake when I look back on the 2 or 3 crazies that wasted our time and our money. And, you don't want that. You just don't want that. I even did that earlier this year. I took a listing. Oh my gosh. You see how we go after commission? $1.6 million listing. And I was like, okay, I can do this. It's even in my neighborhood. But I knew the seller wasn't ethical. And lo and behold, I bring him a 1.6. And he says, oh, I don't want to move. So he tried to sell it on his own. So immediately when he said that, I'm like, okay, I called my EXP broker and I said, I'm terminating. She's like, why? I said, I'm just terminating. So he tried to sell it on his own. By the way, he couldn't. So then he went back, and it's the 3rd listing agent. He still couldn't sell it. So I did a good thing that I walked away from it, because it was just not it would have wasted my time even more. So I should have never took it in the first place, because I felt that was coming, and I still made that mistake. So I'm still learning, but that's one thing that I always try to advise, especially new agents. We make much more of those mistakes when we're new than we do right now.
Yeah, because we think the money's going to be there, and we're searching.
And we can change people's minds, or, work around their trickiness. You can't work around a tricky person. If they're going to do something, they're going to do it regardless. So just step away from it. Earlier, the better.
I agree. All right. So we want to have enough time for Patsy, because she's going to have some amazing nuggets. So Amani, leave us with one thought that you really want to make sure everybody hears.
Oh, concentrate on what you love to do and do it better every time. Early on, I knew I wasn't going to be able to do open houses and cold calling. I tried it. I probably had about, 10 different calls or 10 different open houses, and said, that's just not for me. So I concentrated on my sphere, and my entire work, 99% of it, comes from who I know or who they send me to. So find out what works best for you, concentrate on it, and do that well. Don't try to do 600 ways of lead gen. 1 or 2 ways is all you need. So try to hone in on that early on in your career, for those that are just joining us, and you will succeed.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Amani. Appreciate you. Well, Patsy, I am so excited that you are here today. For you guys that are kind of new to this whole thing, we have, I believe, some of the most talented agents in this organization, and just are so blessed. And I love the fact, Jeff, thank you for being here, the lone guy, because this has just been a lot of estrogen, and I love it. And Patsy is yet another extremely successful woman. So Patsy, just give us a little information. Who are you? Tell us about your volume. Tell us about your team. Tell us about you.
Thank you, Robin, for having me here. I'm super excited to be here with everybody. So just to tell you a little bit about me, I was born and raised in a real estate family. My father was an industrial commercial broker. He's from Cuba, but he emigrated to Puerto Rico, and that's how I grew up. I grew up every single dinner hearing about real estate and what went right and what went wrong. And when things went wrong, I could see my father's face, and he would not be the happiest. And then when things went right, I'm like, Dad, how did you resolve it? So I grew up, talking about real estate over the dinner table, and I got licensed in Puerto Rico, but I moved to North Carolina. That's where I have my business. And I have been in real estate here 15 years. I started as a solo agent. Now I have a team. For me, and I know it's not easy either way, but for me, the team setup seems to be, sorry, my dog is like trying to get in the office. The team setup is absolutely fantastic because I want to make sure I deliver the best quality of service. And so sometimes it's hard to juggle the volume with, being there for your clients. We sell about, 35 to 45 million, about, 75 to 100 units a year. And I'm here in the Triad. When I started here, I moved because of my husband's practice and I did not know anybody. So I literally got my license here, went to work, brought my computer, my stapler, my paper, everything, set up my desk. And then I was like, now what do I do? At the time, we really didn't have, the cell phones like we have now, that it's so easy to Google, etc. So I didn't really have too much mentorship. And I just started working with the people that I felt comfortable with, which were people that were not from the area, and they were relocating just like me. I had an agent, very established agent, tell me, you're never going to make it because you're not from here and you don't know the area. And I think that really propelled me even more to want to make it in this industry. So anything you want to add to that, or?
Well, I just want to ask you've been able to continue to have this team and feed them through what, arguably is one of the worst markets since 2008. What are you doing to keeping those leads going? What is working for you and for the team?
So, I do a mix, and yes, we have felt a little bit of a lot of a pullback. I'm not gonna lie, but what we do, I'm not good at. I'm good at having a database, but I'm not good at doing everything that you have to do to follow through, because it's either that or I'm out. I'm really good at bringing business, networking. I'm back to doing a lot of live things, meeting with people, person to person, just bringing. I'm a data person too. I like to analyze numbers and understand what is really happening, and not get too much into what the headlines are, the news headlines, but more what is really happening. Because what it is you've got a bunch of people that are reading headlines that are scared. And so everybody starts running, So what am I doing? I'm presenting data. Just last week, we brought an economist to talk to our group of agents. I'm very much also in not only, handling my team, but into agent attraction. So we brought an economist, and the economist talked about all the jobs that are coming to our area. We have more than 45,000 jobs that will come in the next 20 years. They bumped the forecast to 100 jobs, industrial office jobs, that are coming to our area in the next 20 years. So what did we do? We did a meeting. We talked about what is really happening, what the data is. And with that data, just yesterday, one of our agents told me that she was able to get somebody under contract because they were relocating to the area. They weren't sure that they wanted to buy because of all the headlines on the news. But when they read that data, they decided to pull the trigger. So just staying positive, not being a nervous leader, actually studying the data, and you call it, it is what it is. But people do need to buy a home. Okay. They need a roof over their heads. So it's either they buy or they rent. So who is your client? And so you got to be very strategic and go to the data and say, okay, so there's people that are moving down, for example. That might be a great buyer for me because they're not nervous about the interest rate, because they're selling at a high, because we're still at a high, guys. So they're getting that equity and they're downsizing. So really interest rates don't matter to them. The other people that I'm working with are investors. So what am I doing? I'm reading more books about investment, purchasing, cost segregation. So I'm more apt to be able to talk about it with my investors, because those investors are buying in cash and they really don't care about the interest rates. But then you've got also first-time home buyers that now you can actually negotiate closing costs for them. You can actually have a builder pay, points to bring their interest rate down to like 5.5%. So there's so many ways to get people under contract and to purchase if it's the right time for them, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. And I heard someone say, I can't even remember who it was, said that, we're not real estate agents, we're professional problem solvers.
Correct. And so if you do detach yourself from the outcome, and I'm reading this great book by Jay Shetty, it's called Think Like a Monk. If you take yourself out of the, okay, what's going to happen, detach yourself from the outcome and just do what's right, you're gonna push through. The important thing is to do it with what's good at heart for your clients. There's so much business to be had. So what we need to do is be positive, find the data, and find who your client avatar is at this point in time. Because it does depend, on the economy, who you're comfortable with working, but also who is better apt to buying right now or selling right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense. And I love that, because we're all talking about do what you love. And that's true. And do it for people who are actually going to be buying and selling right now.
Correct. And I will say that one big mistake that I made back in my career is trying to do everything. You can't do everything. I know what I am good at, and I know what I am not good at. And so, to Robin's point, database, I hired Fusion. They are a company. They maintain my database. They sell all the emails. We do like a whole annual campaign of what's going out, postcards. We did the story of our team, and we send it out to my SOI that I've built, throughout my last 15 years. So, I mean, don't be afraid to hire help. That's another thing. We cannot do everything alone. So I have people managing that for me, so I can be out doing what I want to do. And if anybody has any questions about Fusion, please call me and I'll be happy to talk to you guys about it.
Well, talk to me a little bit about what other leverage you're using, because I think that's a great topic.
I have great people. That's another thing that I learned early on. It's like, you think you want to do it all and you do it best, but you do need people. I have two amazing people that handle the back end of my office. Bethany and Lori, they're amazing. I couldn't do this without them. And then my team. I mean, my leverage is my team, because I know they're an extension of my arms. And so for me, that's real leverage, because I know I can create the leads. I do buy some leads, I'm not going to lie, through Zillow, etc. But then through the SOI, I have a lot of repeat business. And so we just divide and conquer. But I know that everybody's going to be treated the same way that I would personally treat them. And so we're like a family here. And for me, that has worked.
Yeah. And tell me, where did you find, what was your best source of finding these great people? Because I love it when people are like, they're fantastic. And then, I can't tell you how many times I have failed at hiring the right person.
Yes. So great question. It's been extremely organic, except for Bethany. She was the first person way back, like over a decade ago, that I met her over Craigslist. She came for an interview and I just immediately loved her. And she was, at the time, she was licensed, but her license was in inactive status. And she was a little bit more shy with clients, but we gave it a try, and I could see she was so amazing. She just needed somebody to push her into the business and not feel like she was working on a silo. And so we started working together, and she absolutely took off in her business. I also, so she brought Lori, who is the VP of our operations. She's a friend, somebody she knew, and she was in marketing. So I hired her. So it's been by word of mouth. And then one of my best friends, Adriana, got licensed, and then her husband got licensed. And then one of the other agents, the other two agents have been recommended by mentors, actually. They got their license, they were ready to join a team. I interviewed them and it was the right fit. So for me, it hasn't been just cold calling agents and trying to get them in. Do I do that on occasion? Yes, to build my organization if the numbers align. But for my personal team, it's been It's just been word of mouth, and it's been the right choice for us because we're a family.
Well, and also if I can point out, you have an incredible network, and that is not a mistake. That is on purpose. So I would say if there's anyone out there who says, oh, okay, I have no one in my network that I could possibly pull on, then I would challenge you to elevate your network, because you're able to reach out to these people because of who you are, right? And what you've brought to the table and what you are to them. And then they're saying, okay, this is the kind of person I want to hang out with. And you've created this network that you can pull on. So it says a lot about you as a leader as well, and as a human being, that you've surrounded yourself with these people. So just wanted to point out, I think that's pretty cool. So I do want to get to a little bit of Q&A. So Patsy, tell me a couple of things that you want to make sure people hear before we let you off the hook.
Never give up, ever, 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 ever. You're gonna hear from people, oh, the economy is bad, this and that. Guys, stick to it. Make sure you go out and do income producing activities. Hush everything out. There's too much distraction. There's too much social media. Time block, and work on your business. Unfortunately, some people are misinformed, and you see that with the family members who all of a sudden show up and they're the experts in real estate. So tune everything out. People need to buy homes and sell homes always, because the alternative is you got to rent. Okay, so be well informed, study the data, come to these meetings, and just be positive. Never give up, because if you really want to make it, you're going to be able to make it. What you need to have is the grit to be consistent. And consistent is not doing 2 open houses. Oh, it didn't work out. It didn't get anybody. No, I did open houses for like 2 years straight until I had so much business that I could not handle it. Okay. So you got to be consistent. That's my message.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So open your microphones. What questions do you guys have for these 4 people? I'm going to read the chat. Well,
Hey, Amani, I got a question.
Hello.
I can't.
So, Amani, I signed up for that luxury as well. And I did it because I had a 2.2 and I felt like our marketing was weak in comparison to the competitors in the area. Sorry, my dog's having a fit right now.
You need Jeff for that dog, and mine too.
Figures. Anyway, I love the idea of the expireds and doing that printout, because it just takes minutes
Exactly.
to do it.
Exactly.
And I'm going to
Especially
do
if
that.
it's nearby, Kathy, especially if it's nearby, it's going to take me 5 minutes to print it and 5 minutes to drop it off and leave.
Well, I'll probably, I'm debating on the text, because the text will be too small, maybe. I haven't seen, but it's in a mobile format, right?
So the link that you have, you open it like a document. It's the text is fine. I mean, I don't know if I have one right here,
Then
but
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
I've been working on one since November of last year. That's a $4 million house, and he keeps putting me off and putting me off. And when I saw that I could do that potentially as a text, and he's never listed his house. So I went on Google Earth today, and then I went to Google Directions, and they had a snapshot of the front of the house. So I captured it. So now I have a picture of his house. So I'm going to do that, because this tool, this is a powerful tool. And I'll tell you what, luxury in your area, if luxury's moving in your area, they're paying cash. They don't care about the interest rates. And it's happening. I mean, I've brought in 6 different buyers have come to look at it. All were cash in the past 40 days. So they're out there. And I think that the whole system that EXP has designed is powerful for selling luxury. And you're either selling luxury or you're selling new constructions, it feels like, in today's market, because the new construction's offering so many incentives for the challenged interest rate. But I got to turn off my mic because these dogs are about to get
And to Patsy's point, don't forget about investors. We learned at EXPCon that 26% of the market right now is investors, and they're all paying cash as well. So, and if you guys have not invested some time in the Express Offers cash offer platform, do that. Get on some videos with Terrence, who's in charge of that, because they've got some incredible tools to help you broaden your scope with investors. And it's not just about cash offers for, you know, the platform. It's more than that. What else you guys got?
If anybody wants a good book, it's called The Real Book of Real Estate by Robert Kiyosaki. Okay. And it explains it so well.
You said The Real Book?
The Real Book of Real Estate by Robert Kiyosaki. He's the one that wrote
Rich Dad, Poor Dad?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome, awesome. On that note, if nobody else has any questions, who else is using tech or tools that they're winning with? Yeah, Robin.
I'm using AI, and I use it like people are like, oh, I use AI for listing descriptions. And that's fine. You can do that as well. The other great thing to utilize it for is your content creation on social media. You can create a content calendar in about 4.2 seconds that tells you what to do every day. And then you can break it down and it'll write a script for you. It'll write the hashtags, it'll write the hooks, it'll write the calls to action. So utilizing AI is definitely working on a high level, and it just makes your like these people that are out there like posting the top 10 things to do and blah blah blah, they don't sit and research all that. They're using AI. So play with it. Like, go play with it. ChatGPT or Jasper are both great ones to use and play with too. And Canva has one. Magic is great. I think it's Magic. And then EXP has something they just created. So yeah, like AI, like it can be a tool. It does not have to overtake your world.
Love it. Who else? Margot just put in their prop stream. Who else? Tech or tools? I'm just dropping this Robert Keo.
I'm going to say good old KV Core. Put together a campaign, ChatGPT, put it in there and send it out to your either SOI or if you're doing agent attraction, whatever that may be.
And to piggyback on that, Patsy, there's in the KV Core in the upper right-hand corner of your account, there's a link that you can send to your database saying, if you want a CMA, click here, and KV Core will send a market analysis. And it tells you so-and-so wanted a market analysis. So guess what? You can call them and find out why did they want a market analysis. That should be on every single email you send out. Click here for a market analysis.
Can you repeat where that was?
Yes, so on your KV Core, the upper right-hand corner under your name, I'm sorry, the guy's cutting the grass, the dog is barking. Jeff, where are you? So the upper hand corner pull down menu under your name, it has a link for that. It's literally copy that link and put it on the bottom of every single email you send out, every card, every communication. It says, if you want a market analysis, click here.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Anyone
Amani.
else?
Thank you, Amani, for that. That's gold.
Anyone else, tech or tools? All right, so I'm going to do one more plug for Express Offers. If you guys are farming for sale by owners, if you are doing expireds, any kind of off-market farming property, you can go in and offer people an Express Offers cash offer. They are now collaborating with Open Door. We're going to have a preview of that in the next 2 weeks. Q1, we're going to have the full-on Open Door. All it is a foot in the door. EXP's training is less than 4% of these people actually get a cash offer. It is your foot in the door to get the listing. And it is what no one else is offering when they call those expireds and those for sale by owners. They are not offering a cash offer. They are not offering a simple solution. We have Curbio, the two work together. So Curbio can be your contractor. You do not have to have contractor quotes. Herbio will do everything for you. You look like a rock star. And if you're trying to get listings and you don't know what to say, this is not about script practice. Just get in the door with express offers. And if you don't know how to do it or what to do, book a meeting with Terrence. He will do a one-on-one coaching session with you. He is that absolutely passionate about that. And they are trying to work with small investors too. So if you have any investors that want to go on the platform, if you guys don't know this, if you put somebody on the express offers platform, every single time they close a deal, you make $800 every single time forever. So I can't say enough about what a great tool this is for us in this market. So
Who's Terrence?
anything else anybody else wants to do or say before we?
Who's Terrence? Like what last name do we? You said
Terrence.
ask Terrence.
Terrence. If you go on Workplace and go on Express Offers, I think it's Terrence Clark.
Okay,
He's
thank you.
He's in charge of all of Express Offers for all of EXP. All right, y'all. Happy Halloween. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Patsy. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Amani. Thank you for giving us all of your time and talent. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you,
Thank
Robin.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Happy Halloween.